Let's start. My name is Maggie Szynkielewska. I'm the Content and Exhibition Coordinator at Europeana, and I will be talking to you a little bit about the Public Domain Month 2026 at the end. But first, we're going to hear a great story about a photography collection from the Image Center in Girona. So let me pass now to our online speakers, starting with Valentina Bacchi from Photoconsortium, who will give us some background. Valentina, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Maggie. And yes, it's me again, Valentina from Photoconsortium. But this time, as Maggie announced, I am joined with my colleague, Clara Silvestre Colomer from INSPAI, to tell you a nice story that we hope will, inspire also others to share and promote the open access collection. Next slide, please. So this story is about a collection from a Catalan photographer, Valentí Fargnoli, and this collection is in the holdings of INSPAI. INSPAI is the image center of the province of Girona in Catalonia, and they have a vast archive with beautiful photographic heritage and photographic equipment that is really very rich, starting from the early days of photography in 1855, and it contains photos from professional and amateur, personal and family collections. They are a member of the Photoconsortium since many years, and in 2023 or so, they started this journey, for the aggregation and publication of their holdings in Europeana. So we started little with a small collection, then it grew in time. And next slide, please. Yeah, and of course, being a member of Photoconsortium, they were happy to, get our support in doing this. As you certainly know or may know, we are an accredited aggregator for Europeana since the early days in 2016, and we have this focus on promoting photographic, but also other types of cultural heritage in the digital realm. We are not one of the biggest aggregators in Europeana. Nevertheless, we manage 400,000 heritage items from around 50 providers in Europe. And in our network, it is very varied, very diverse. We have both big institutions, smaller museums, private collections, and so on and so forth. As you may remember, we are a partner in the Common European Data Space for Cultural Heritage. So we have been very interested in all these discussions we had in these 2 days about the developments that we are doing. And we are coordinator of the Eureka 3D initiative that I talked about already yesterday. Next slide, please. So, what we do as an aggregator, we really try to engage our network of members and collaborators in the Europeana network to promote not only only the aggregation of collection, but really participation in the various initiatives. And in particular, we always try to find ways to increase the visibility of the collections, because we heard yesterday from Harry and Valentin that now Europeana has touched 60 million objects. So it is very vast, and to really make a collection come to surface is not really that easy. So we really need to find ways to help users discover stories and content that is aggregated in Europeana and then in the data space. And of course, we are very in line with the, Europeana strategies and the open access approach for heritage collections, being at the same time respectful of the IP status of collections across the networks and the individual approaches that content providers may have. Next slide, please. As an aggregator, we use a double pipeline for the aggregation. We rely on the Mint mapping tool declined for the needs of photographic collections in the aggregation of 2D data sets. And I explained yesterday that we have created this workflow in the context of Eureka 3D for the aggregation of 3D items. And INSPAI, the colleagues from Girona, used both because they aggregated images with the Mint and also a selection of very nice 3D models of heritage photographic equipment via the Eureka 3D data hub. Of course, we are an intermediate. Content providers have the full control on the project. So there is a dedicated service from our side that takes care of any update or changing the data set as requested by the content providers. So in September last year, more or less, Clara contacted me and told me that these collections from Valentin Fagnoli was going to pass in the public domain as in 2025. And indeed, they wanted to update the rights label to the published dataset in Europeana. There was a CC BY and CND, which needed to be transformed to the public domain mark. Next slide, please. So what we did, very simple, we reviewed the dataset, we updated the rights label in our Mint mapping tool, we tested it with the Metis sandbox, that is a tool that we normally use in our aggregation pipeline because it really offers the possibility to verify that everything is fine in the dataset before sending it to Adina and the other colleagues of the data processing team. And then we kept everything on hold until the 1st January, because in 2024, the collection was still not in the public domain. Meanwhile, we proposed to Clara and the colleagues at INSPAI to co-create a blog post that we wanted to publish in Europeana to celebrate the collection which entered in the public domain. And Clara and the colleagues at INSPAI worked on the blog post together with our staff, editorial staff at Photoconsortium, and we agreed with the Europeana publishing team about the publication date and the actions that would be done on this blog post. So everything was ready, and in January, boom, the collection was updated, the blog post was finalized and published, and there was a very nice social media campaign. So we were very happy of this story, but most of all, we were very happy with this collection that passed in the public domain, because it is really a beautiful collection, a beautiful story. And now I will pass the floor to Clara to showcase a little bit more of their archive, the collection, and most of all to show us nice photographs. So Clara, the floor is yours. Next slide, please.
Okay, thank you, Valentina, and good morning to all. I'm Clara, archivist at INSPAI, the image center of the Diputació de Girona, located in Catalonia, Spain. INSPAI is a publicly owned center specializing in still and moving images, and its main task is, on the one hand, to preserve the historical, photographic, and audiovisual memory of the regions of Girona, and on the other, to encourage current photographic creation and promote it through exhibitions and publications. As a center specializing in images, we manage more than 1 million, originating from the departments within our own institution, and also from donations, transfers, and to a lesser extent, private acquisitions. Next. We have been members of Photoconsortium since 2021, and it was thanks to the association that we began our first content sharing in Europeana library in 2023, experience that we have come to share with you today. Next. For this first ingestion of digital content, we focus on a specific collection, which is the Valentin Fagnoli collection, who was a photographer of Italian descent based in our region. The collection was acquired in 2011 by the Diputació, and it is one of the most significant held at the center. It consists of 779 glass plates in black and white, which the photographer took between 1911 and 1944 in the province of Girona. Next, Fagnoli traveled throughout this territory by bicycle, portraying the architecture and artistic elements, next, the landscapes and the daily life of its people, next. Thanks to this fact, today we have images like the ones I'm showing you, which become a first-rate graphic testimony to learning about life in the early 20th century in our region. Next. At the time of sharing the images on Europeana, as Valentina said, they were already digitized and shared in our website, but still under copyright. And for that fact, until 2024, we shared them under the more restrictive Creative Commons license, that is limiting commercial purposes and derivative works, but with the possibility that users could download a high-resolution image. We made the first sharing in the library with 300 glass plates and continued with a second load in the same year, which complete this personal collection. Next. Internally, this sharing process involved reviewing the entire collection, and it helped us update the information of the images sheet in our database and to provide the minimum metadata requested in Europe by Europeana, which is what is shown in the images files. I have to say that although we did this previous task of documentation, in some cases relevant information appeared later. And as Valentina has commented before, we have made these changes in the data sets to keep the information updated. Once Fregnoli collection was complete, next. And knowing that we had other images that he authored in other photographic collections in our center, we decided to share them in the library as well and bring together the entire corpus of images by the photographer we hold at the center. In this case, most of them are paper postcards made in some cases from the glass plates of the Fregnoli collection, as is the case with the example that I'm showing you next, in which apart from the original plate, this is the original plate, we also keep two paper postcards. Next, one in black and white and another in color, all shared in Europeana. Today, next, we have a total of 1,464 high-resolution images available both for free and freely on the Europeana website, but also in the INSPAI website. Next. And this year, Fregnoli entered the public domain, and since January, users have access to this content without any legal restrictions. In relation to the benefits and impact of publishing our collections on Europeana, this has allowed us to promote and publicize them and reach a wider audience, as demonstrated by the usage statistics of INSPAI provided by Europeana. Next, the dashboard. This year has seen a considerable increase in user visits, and we can say that in the last 3 months, we have received around 500 visits, which is almost half the number of visits that have been made during the period between 2023 and 2024. I have to say that have this data from the dashboard. It's so interesting for us. Surely, one of the consequences is that they are in the public domain, and this contributes to the reuse of this content. Moreover, to celebrate the collection entering this category, and also the 140th anniversary of the birth of Fregnoli, we participate in the library blog post through the story dedicated to the photographer, which was also a great opportunity to disseminate his photographic work and contextualize the collection. Next. We think it's interesting not to end with just the sharing of images and having a space to talk about them creator. And in this sense, the blog offers this educational space. Lastly, we believe that participation in the Europeana Library is a tool to enhance the preservation of photographic heritage, whether from small or large archives, and a path followed towards digital transformation in a way that ensures the conservation and the knowledge of the photographic and audiovisual memory of our continent. Finally, next, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Valentina and the Photoconsortium Association for their work as content aggregators, as well as the Europeana team. In our case, the sharing process was easy and fast. Our intention now is to continue sharing our collections and to do so using the digital content that we already have in the public domain, and to continue exploring all the tools and possibilities that Europeana has to offer us. I would also like to finish to encourage all institutions that have not yet done so to join. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Clara. You are too kind, and it's a pleasure to work with you. I give the floor back to Maggie because I think you would like to say something following this presentation.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Clara. Thank you, Valentina, for sharing your experience. That was very inspiring, at least from my side. So you just heard the side of an aggregator and a data provider. And now I'm going to share the same story, but from Europeana's perspective, specifically from my team audience engagement perspective, where we aim to, as probably most of you know, we aim to connect people to your collections. And first I have to make a confession. So when we received the blog about Valentì Fargnoli entering the public domain, I felt a bit sad. And that's because my first thought was, this is amazing material, but we're probably not going to be able to promote it. And why is that? So as you know, every year on the 1st of January, thousands of cultural works enter the public domain. And it is this exciting moment, these cultural expressions becoming legally part of the commons, so they are free to be used, reused, built upon, remixed, right? So for us, it's this chance to bring the attention to your collections, to promote the reuse, boost the visibility, and connect you with the audiences in all these creative ways. This is the moment where people are actively looking for the new material also. But there's a catch. If the right statement label is not updated on time, the legal status of the work is not matching what we are displaying, and we cannot really spotlight the collections. So it is a missed opportunity. And that has always been a challenge. It's not easy to get updates on time. Public Domain Day comes right after holiday season, so updates often arrive too late. By the end of the month, we basically lose the momentum. This means missed opportunities for everyone, for audience, for CHIs, for you as aggregators, and for Europeana. So you can only imagine how thrilled I was when on the day of publishing the blog, I got a confirmation that all the records from INSPAI are updated to the public domain mark. So thanks to what Clara and Valentina was just saying, this early collaboration between INSPAI and Photoconsortium, we could publish and promote the blog, and we could promote these beautiful photographs within the public domain month. So it showed that with some advanced planning, this is completely possible to get that momentum. But it still caused us a little bit surprise, as I said. So for 2026, we want to get ready. And we need your help. And we are asking each one of you to identify one creator entering the public domain in next year. For most of the countries, this is going to be creators that died in 1955. Spain is going to be an exception here. Ideally, the end goal is that this could follow this identification of the creator. This could follow with the ingestion of the new collections, right? In line with what we were hearing yesterday, also the 2030 recommendations with more content. But of course, it's not going to be always possible. If it's not possible, just updating the labels, like in this case, by the end of the year, will allow us to promote your collections at the right moment and feature them with all the activities that we're going to do during the public domain month. So to make things easier, we will share a list of suggested creators that could get you started. But of course, you and your data providers know your collections best. So feel free to go beyond that list. This is just the suggestion. And I do understand there are, of course, as I said, national differences in the legislation. Not all formats are going to be easy to work with. For example, we know audiovisual material is in a little bit of a disadvantage here, but we still believe it's worth the effort. Especially because, as you know, one of our goals is increasing the reuse. So we are also planning a lot of activities focused specifically on reusing the public domain content. One of the ideas is also we could arrange a way to present your outcomes during the Public Domain Day in Europe, which will happen mid-month in Belgium. So why is it worth it? Well, it's a chance to raise visibility for your collections, right? Celebrate this global public domain moment, and especially give the audiences something exciting to engage with, sparking some creative reuse. So let's plan ahead, choose the creator, and let us know. You can reach out to the contact person in Europeana. You can go directly to me. I'll leave my email address here, and I will be following up with the list, and we will try to support you in this process. And hopefully, we'll get tons of updated public domain collections in Europeana at the beginning of next year. Thank you very much. That's it from me.